Hello friend, this is me, your host. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are well and doing great. So today I am back with another video with another book to give review on. So this book is The Accidental Debutante by Jane Dunn. A sublime alternative world of joy. The winged Venus takes flight. Spring 1817. It was midnight and the crowd at Astley's amphitheater was feverish with expectation. Outside, the night was cold and blustery inside. The steamy air melt of ale and onions and hot human bodies. Prabble's flying circus reached the climax of their show when the horses thundered into the ring and were ridden round the amphitheater at speed in a flurry of flying hooves and swirling dust. All eyes were on their star rider, Clorinda, the winged Venus, dressed in narrow skill pantaloons and a tight braided gold jacket with small padded wings on her shoulders. A mask half obscured her face, and a feathered cap emphasized the luxuriance of flaxen hair that cascaded to her waist. Astride her horse, Percy, she rode without a saddle and was fearless and supreme in her horsemanship. Does anything hurt? Having heard him speak, she knew she had to talk in the proper way she had learned as a child. Way she had learned as a child and answered carefully. Only my head, but I have known worse. What's your name? Eliza. Eliza what? Fear clutched at her heart. If she told him the truth of where she had come from, she would be escorted back to the circus. In a moment of clarity, Eliza realized she had to pretend she could not recall anything apart from her given name. gentleman watching her hold her head waited, and she answered haltingly. With a catch in her voice. I can't remember. Zadok looked at her quizzically. I would like to join you on a ride tomorrow. Would you be agreeable to showing me the park? To showing me the park? Eliza answered with a smile. Of course. I meet Taz, Lord Perfoy's groom, at 7 in the morning, if it's not too early for you. Alex said, I think I can find you a sturdy hunter. Perfoy's horses are high-bred beasts, perhaps too light for you. Against our code, don't you know? Just consider Lord Byron. He refuses all pecuniary gain for those books of poetry sold in their thousands, much to his publisher's delight. Well, I am no English gentleman then. Raven Perfoy gave a slow smile. You do things differently in the colonies. A colony no longer. Mr. Flynn's reposite was uncharacteristically sharp. Alec interrupted the conversation by hailing the new arrival. Ferdy, where were you last night? You were missed at the club, you know. I went to Ashley's. Again, Alec raised an eyebrow. Why not? I wish to see the horses. particularly fine black one I have my eye on. With a particularly fine lady riding on his back, no doubt. All the men laughed. Ferdinand Chilton was offended by their levity. Actually, no. The winged Venus has flown away. She was no longer in the show. Lord Purfoy's eyes were on Eliza's face, and she felt her color rise. I wonder why and where to. It's quite a conundrum, is it not? He drawled. Zadok Flynn responded in his friendly way, but there was another fine equestrian there. A good-looking filly she was, too. You were at Atlas with Ferdy? Purfoy gave him a fancy look. He knew I had some fine bloodstock at home and thought I would like to see the circus horses. The consolations of sisterhood. After a stormy night, the morning was as crisp as if laundered, the air fresh and bright as the sun rose on a new day. Eliza had slept through the rumbles of thunder and the drumming rain, and was only awoken by Polly carrying a pitcher of water through the dressing room. Are you riding again this morning, miss? The maid asked as she opened the curtains to gaze out on the mews. I am. It's the best start to any day. Well, Mr. Flynn seems to have risen early too, and his man has laid out his riding clothes. Eliza yawned and padded across the floor to the dressing room. Thank you for reminding me, Polly. He did mention he would like to join Taz and me. After a quick wash, she was helped to dress in her riding in her waist, contrasting with the voluminous skirts. A part of Eliza longed to be divested of all this cloth to instead ride freely in her close-fitting circus costume. But she was also attracted to the ladylike elegance of her borrowed outfit that showed off her figure and coloring to such effect. Polly twinned her mass of blonde hair into a loose low bun so that Corina's smart top hat would fit. The short net veil making her eyes mysterious and its ostrich feather curling round the brim. Coloring slightly, Polly said, I have been to Asley's Miss with Davy on me night out. I have seen you perform. Eliza turned to face her with a look of surprise. Did you, Polly? What did you think? I thought you was a marvel, Davy agreed. That news pleases me greatly. It's a show for the people. Well, the people loves you. The best thing in it. I am honored to help you in any way. Polly mumbled. Here, let me clean you up. You are not fit to be seen in public. Certainly not on one of my best prancers. I don't mind how I appear, my lord, Eliza said. Well, I do. My horses are well known, you know. He took out a handkerchief from his inner pocket. Now, to do the job properly, this line, this linen has to be wet. Shall it be my spittle or yours? His voice was matter of fact, but the thought of his saliva on her skin seemed somehow shockingly intimate. Eliza took the handkerchief, spat on it, and pressed it back. Lord Purfoy had moved Horatio alongside Celio, and the stablemates nuzzled each other as he reached over to place a forefinger under Eliza's chin and tilted her face upwards. Now I can see better what I am doing. Raven Purfoy's unexpected touch made her hold her breath. She always found his proximity disturbing and was never certain what might happen next. She glanced up at his face, but his expression was intent on his task as he deftly whisked away the mud from her cheeks. When Lord Purfoy had finished, he sat back in the saddle to survey his handiwork. You are respectable again, if looking a trifle scrubbed. He smiled and handed over his handkerchief. I will leave you to clean your riding habit. As Eliza rubbed away at the cloth, she glanced up and met his eyes. It's my fault Taz has been taking me riding. I miss my horse, Percy, so much. I had to leave him at the circus You see, it's typical high-handedness on Taz's part that he offers you one of my best horses as if they belong to him. His lordship's words were severe, but his eyes were sparkling, and Taz and Eliza shared a wry smile. Then unexpectedly he added, "But I have to agree with him. You match Celio well. Not many riders could." Terrified by this compliment, Eliza returned to cleaning the mud from her bodice. Unaware of much beyond her concern for Corina's habit. Tess, however, had noticed on the tree line a flashy grey, its white tail streaming like smoke as its rider cantered down the incline towards them. He muttered, "Something big this way comes." Everyone turned. "It's not like you to be so melodramatic." Purfoy said to his tiger. Then he too recognized the horse. "But you are right, if not exactly faked, then very disobliging indeed." Lord Davenport lead his horse in alongside Eliza. Looking sly and furtive, he said, "Good day, gentlemen." He tipped his hat. Love and loss at the basket ball. Corina woke early, her mind full of vague anxiety. Alec's hand lay on her stomach, and in steadying, she woke him too. He pulled her into his arms and buried his face in her hair. I hope you slept well. I did until just now when worries assailed me. She yawned and shaded her eyes against the shaft of early sun that streamed across the bed. Alec propped himself on an elbow so he could see her face better. Why? What concerns you, my love? Our guests, the reins are slipping from my fingers. She laughed, you know, how I don't care to be out of control of events. We have so much to think of, your work on the estate, my painting time with Emma, and now our coming baby. Alec had flopped down on the pillow again, his right arm slipping around her shoulders. Tell me what Miss Gray and Mr. Flynn are up to that concerns you. Eliza really needs to find her family, and I'm not sure where we can begin in that quest. We have no clues, as I had with my father's gifts. But she has such a distinctive look. I can only hope someone recognizes her. That seems unlikely, but it's all beyond our control anyway. It calmed Corina's mind to feel her husband's physical warmth and strength of character. She looked up into his face. I know, but without meaning to be, Eliza's quite a disruptive presence. have never known Raven so out of sorts. He is even breaking his lifelong insistence on sleeping until noon. These last days, he's been up early to exercise ratio himself. Alec laughed. Don't you worry, Purfoy's proof against the most irresistible siren. He's made sure his heart has turned to stone. I'm not sure it's Miss Gray's fault he's out of his coat before noon. Corina stayed disconsolate. She dressed carelessly and made a passable attempt to temping her hair into a bun. Shocked at how pale she looked, she went down to breakfast but did not feel ready to eat anything more than a piece of dry toast. Corina was there, also pale. Goodness, I can no longer thrive on late nights. She sighed as she eased herself into a chair. Either I am getting old or having a it's having a young child and another on the way that has altered my capacity for balls. Well, I have no children as my excuse, but I do feel as weak as watered milk. Eliza nibbled at her toast. You have had a number of shocks to absorb. No wonder you are exhausted. Corina's face brightened. But I have some good news. Alec has an aunt with a house in Bath, in Great Pulteney Street. She is in town for the season and is happy to lend it to us. She is in town for the season and is happy to lend it to us. Eliza's spirits in part revived. This was a quest she had to follow to the end, although she quailed at the thought of any more brutal confounding of her hopes. In a quiet voice, she said, "That's very kind. When do you think we should go?" Alec is staying in town, but Mr. Flynn is set on joining us. I saw him before he left to settle his new mare in the mews. He seems keen to see Bath. It's one of the central attractions on the English tour. She poured out another cup of coffee for them both and added, "I think we should set off in 2 days' time. Does that suit you?" He looked immediately anxious and alert. "I'm sorry to hear that. I will offer her my fast chaise. I have my own teams of horses stabled at the posting inns along the way, so the journey is more comfortable and can be done in 2 days." "That's very kind of you, sir. I would do anything for Corina and Alec. They are the closet. I have two family." His voice was unusually emotional. When the coach pulled up outside number 10, Polly climbed out before Taz had opened the door and dashed through the rain up the front steps. Lord Purfoy put out a hand. "Wait a while, Miss Gray. I want to know what's really troubling you. His dark eyes were intent on her face, and she knew she could not prevaricate with him. She took a deep breath and said, I came to Bath to see my long lost father. His dark eyes were intent on her face, and she knew she could not prevaricate with him. She took a deep breath and said, I came to Bath to see my long lost father, the Marquis of Bathwick. However, it seems I am not his daughter, but another man's natural child. However, it seems I am not his daughter, but another man's natural child. He nodded sagely. "'Tis common enough, but not usually until the first child and heir has been legitimately born. Eliza's emotions were in such turmoil she found it hard not to let the floodgates give way. She said in exasperation, "It may be common enough, my lord, but when you are that child, it can be destructive of all happiness." His kindness was her undoing. She covered her face with her hands. You would cry too if the family you had longed all your life to find turned out to be a monstrous chimera. That sounds most hideous indeed. Do you want to tell me more? Eliza took a gulp of air and continued. Eliza took a gulp of air and continued. My legal father knew I was the daughter of another man and that my mother loved me. And so, to punish her and relieve his own hatred, he paid my nursemaid to lose me in a crowd. Here in Bath, I was just 7. Before Eliza could answer, the dog Flynn interrupted. It's entirely my fault. It's entirely my fault. I put pressure on Miss Gray to ride a hare for me as I was too heavy for the mare. When Miss Gray tried to back out of our agreement, I wouldn't allow it. I owe her a public apology. He took her hand and bowed over it. Eliza's voice was expressionless. I must apologize to you, Mr. Shilton, for upsetting properties when I was taking advantage of your hospitality. And you too. Mr. Wolfe, who with Mrs. Wolfe have shown me the utmost care and generosity. My deceit may have been necessary, but that does not make it any less reprehensible. My sincerest apologies to you all. She had made up her mind about her next move and added, I will be making other arrangements when we get back to town, and so will no longer be taking advantage of everyone's kindness. The man looked abashed. Alec Wolf was quick to say, No, Miss Gray, you are no burden on any of us. It has been the greatest pleasure to be able to help you find your family and work out your plans. Cup of coffee were once more poured and handed around. Zadig Flynn said, In 2 days, Alec, I will no longer be in your hair. I'm off on the next stage of my tour of this island race. I'm off to Ireland in search of my people. Ferdinand Shilton snorted. When you see the poverty there, you will be grateful to your papa that he took the king's shilling to fight in America's Revolutionary War. So this is all we have from this book. I hope you guys liked it, and if you wanted to buy this book, you can visit our Amazon page, BestBook4u. And if you like this book, don't forget to press the like button. So I'll be back with another video with another book. Till then, just take care and goodbye.